This podcast is a Buenos Diaz Media production.
Welcome to the Cigar Cypher, the podcast where the rich aroma of tobacco meets the spark of conversation. Let us guide you through the captivating world of cigars. Whether you're a seasoned aficionado or just curious about your first puff, this is your invitation to join the Cypher.
Make way for the new kings of cigar media, the Cigar Cypher.
Welcome back to the Cigar Cypher Podcast, where the smoke is rich, the talk is real, and the truth burns slow. I'm your host, David, and today we're diving into one of the oldest hustles in cigar history. Yep, you guessed it. Fake Cuban cigars. That's right. The holy grail of cigars has a dark side. And no, I don't mean Maduro. I mean the counterfeits. Those overpriced fake cohibas that some guy swore he brought back from Havana himself. If you ever been offered a deal too good to be true, my friends, my brothers and sisters of the leaf, this episode is for you. Because today we're breaking down how to spot a fake, what makes real Cubans so special, and how not to get played by cigar street magic. But before we spark up fully this episode, make sure to follow the Cigar Cypher Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube and Rumble. Hit that like and subscribe button, share with your friends. Because in the lounge, knowledge is the real flex.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Diaz Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
So before we jump in fully into today's topic, let's take a moment for today's cigar highlight, brought to you by thegentleman'storch.com. Light up, level up. All right, so since we're talking about fakes and authenticity, today let's highlight something real, painfully real. Yeah, today's cigar highlight, bet you can't guess, goes out to the underdog of the humidor, J.C. Newman's Factory Throwouts, Nicaragua. Every cigar is made in the original cigar city, Tampa, Florida, on the same hand-operated machines since the 1930s and 40s. And all factory throwouts are priced to sell thanks to the slightly discolored tobacco from the expensive Ecuadorian sun-grown imports. But you know what? It's made and bought at a cheaper rate by J.C. Newman, with the savings passed on to, you guessed it, yes, you, the consumer. Now, before you turn your nose up, right? Do that thing where you're like, These aren't throwouts because they're bad. They're throwouts because they didn't make the beauty pageant. Maybe the wrapper's got a scar. Maybe the color's a little uneven. But the flavor, my friends, still pure Nicaraguan soil. If you're like me, I'm a fan of Nicaraguan tobacco. So I was a little resistant at first to try this cigar, but when I did, I gotta say I was very, very pleasantly surprised. You're getting legit Nicaraguan long fillers, hand-rolled and aged with the earthy spice and cocoa notes Nicaragua's famous for, but at a fraction of the price. And here's the kicker. While some dudes are out there flexing, these fake Cubans, they bought off a cruise ship, you can be chilling with a real stick that delivers authentic flavor and doesn't break your wallet. These cigars are like that quiet guy at the lounge. No flash, no hype. But when you light one up, everyone turns their head like, what's that? And in a good way. I'm not saying like, what's that? Like, remember when they used to say, what are those? No, not like that. If you're new to cigars, or you just appreciate value without compromise, the factory throwouts, Nicaragua, are proof that you don't need a fake label to enjoy a real smoke. I highly recommend them. So I advise, go to your nearest brick and mortar retailer, support the business, obviously, and check them out. You know, buy a single or buy a pack of, I think, like 20, and trust me, you'll thank me later. So yeah, skip the counterfeits, keep it authentic, and remember, a humble cigar with real character always beats a fancy fake. So let's jump into this Cuban obsession. Let's be honest. Part of the allure of a Cuban cigar is the myth. For decades, cigars from Cuba have been romanticized as the pinnacle of smoking. You hear Cuban, and instantly your brain thinks expensive, rare, and classy. Oh my, coffee is amazing. But here's the truth. The Cuban mystique isn't just about the tobacco. It's about the forbidden fruit. You know how we are as humans. We want more what we know we can't have. Decades of U.S. trade embargo made these cigars exclusive. And when something is hard to get, people want it even more. I mean, it's human nature, right? We want what is forbidden. And that applies to many areas in our lives as men and women, even though some people might deny that. That's why the counterfeit business exploded. The demand for quote unquote Cuban cigars outgrew the actual supply. So scammers saw an opportunity and started slapping fake bans on knockoff cigars. And the hustle got good. Real good. Some of these fakes are so convincing, even seasoned smokers have been fooled. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to tell the real from the fake. And I want to start off by clearing the air here and keeping it 100% honest. This is not my experience. I really haven't been a fan. I've never had this experience of the whole fake and real. I really don't care. I don't follow the hype. But this is all based on information that I've gotten online and, you know, testimonials and stuff like that I've read. All right? Just wanted to clear that up. So let's break down how this scam actually plays out. Picture this. You're in the Dominican Republic, Mexico, or the Bahamas, or Aruba. You're on vacation, living the good life. A friendly guy comes up and says, "Psst, I've got cohibas from Cuba. My cousins work at the factory." Sound familiar, people? You follow him, and the next thing you know, you're holding a wooden box stamped Habanos S.A. It even smells authentic. The cigars have bands that look official. And then he makes the offer. He offers it for $200. But hey, my guy, they usually go for $600, he says. And you think, holy shit, I scored a deal. But what you really got was a bundle of probably cheap factory seconds rolled and who knows where with a fake label. And here's the thing. Real Cuban cigars are not sold out of backpacks. They're not sold in beaches or much less back alleys, period. Cuban cigars only come from official Habanos SA retailers. If you didn't buy it from one, odds are, my friend, they are fake. And the counterfeiters, they're not amateurs. They use real boxes, stolen bands, and sometimes even blend decent tobacco to keep you guessing. But there are tells, and I've got you covered. So how do you spot a fake Cuban? And again, I need to be clear on this information. It's information I found online. I haven't had any real experience with Cuban cigars, real or fake, because it's not something I've ever really cared for. But I know there's many new smokers that want to flex with the typical, you've all heard it, I only smoke Cubans, right? So listen up, you I only smoke Cubans guys and gals. Let's get into some detective work here. Here are the biggest red flags that scream fake. Take note, my friends, especially if you went on vacation and you go on these cruises and they make that stop and all of a sudden the guy at the beach goes, "Psst, come here." Yeah. So the first thing you got to look at is the price. If it's too good to be true, it's highly, highly, highly probable that it's fake. Because real Cubans aren't cheap. And they rarely come in bulk vacation deals, quote unquote, right? Vacation deals. You got to look at the band. Cohiba's the most counterfeited brand in the world. On real Cohiba bands, the gold is embossed and perfectly aligned. The Indian head logo has clean edges, not pixelated, and it's not blurry. The box. Real Cubans boxes have Habanos SA seal and a barcode you can verify in the official Habanos website. The box stamp should be sharp, not faded, and it'll include a factory code and a date. I hope you're taking notes, those I only smoke Cuban guys. Real Cubans are silky, uniform wrappers. If your cigar looks rough, if it looks veiny, that's what she said, or patchy, it's probably fake. The draw, if it feels tight, spongy, or inconsistent across the box, that's another sign. Cuban factories are known for consistency in construction. And a bonus tip, when in doubt, check the aroma. Real Cuban tobacco has rich, earthy scent that's unmistakable. Fake cigars smell grassy or bland. All right, so let's take a quick break and we'll come back and talk about why counterfeits exist, as well as some real Cuban alternatives. This is the Cigar Cypher Podcast, a Buenos Diaz media production.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild, or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
We want to take a moment to shout out the Cigar Rights of America, the CRA, one of the very few organizations protecting your right to light up without government overreach. And you know how we've all seen how that's become normalized. So head over to cigarrights.org to become a member today. Support the leaf, defend the culture.
This is the Modern V Podcast, where voice, vulnerability, and victory meet. I'm Leilani.
And I'm Michelle. We're two friends having the real conversations women actually need about healing, hustle, motherhood, love, money, and the patterns we know too well.
No pretending here. Just honest stories, expert gems, and practical tools so you can feel seen and move forward.
If you ever felt silenced, judged, or just tired of carrying it all, you're home. Pull up a chair.
New episodes are short enough for your commute, deep enough to change your week.
Hit follow on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Share this with your sisters, your group chat. Your future self will thank you.
The Modern V.
The Modern V.
Voice, vulnerability,
victory.
victory.
Gentlemen, this one's for you. Whether you're signing deals, chasing dreams, or just unwinding after a long day, your cigar should match your grind. At thegentleman'storch.com, we bring you premium cigars, boutique blends, and curated sample packs, all without the premium price. Because class isn't about the label, it's about the standard you set. From CEOs to 9-to-5ers, every man deserves that moment, that taste of excellence. So light up, level up, and let your story burn slow. Visit thegentleman'storch.com, where affordability meets class and every smoke means something. The Gentleman's Torch. Light up, level up.
Hi, this is Kevin B. Clough. You're listening to the Cigar Cypher Podcast.
All right, and we're back. And today we're talking about how to spot a fake Cuban cigar and the truth behind counterfeits. But now, I want us to jump into why counterfeits exist. So why do counterfeits exist? Why does this happen? Simple. Money and ego. Some folks want the Cuban status symbol without paying the price. They want to show off at the lounge. This is just a Cohiba Bejique. You also have those that need to post it on social media and flex. I've seen tons of posts of, hey, so I was on vacation and I scored these. What do you think? Are they real or fake? This is humble bragging. And again, most of the comments, people are like, dude, you got suckered, you got, stuff like that. So I don't know what's the need to do that. But I've even seen people that will say, hey, I got the cigar as a gift. And they'll show it's a Cohiba, quote unquote, Cohiba, right? Do you think it's fake? And all that goes through my mind is, who gives a shit? If it was a gift, if you didn't buy anything, you want to ask the question because you bought it and you want to know, like, did I get got, Was I, manhandled here? Or did I get a good deal? Fine. But if it's a gift, who gives a shit if it's real, fake? If either you smoke it or you don't. That's my opinion, right? But that desire to flex, that desire to use Cuban Cohiba cigars as, this is what I smoke, like exclusivity. That desire is what creates the perfect market for counterfeiters. And the sad part is, most fakes they're not even close to the real thing. They burn unevenly, they taste flat, and they leave you disappointed. And in some cases, they might even leave you sick. And here's something crazy. Some counterfeit Cuban cigars are actually made with real Cuban tobacco that is smuggled out and blended elsewhere. You know, the lines can get very blurry. But it doesn't come from Habanos SA. It's not a legitimate Cuban cigar. So if you're hell-bent on smoking something Cuban or Cubanesque, let's discuss some real Cuban alternatives. You know, because here's the truth. Most cigar lovers eventually learn you don't need a Cuban to have a world-class smoke. And this is something that I learned early on, because when I got into cigars, I started trying different things, and I quickly found what I liked, and I do enjoy Dominican tobacco. But I have found that most of the cigars that I really, really enjoy and are in a consistent rotation in my humidor are usually Nicaragua tobacco cigars. Nicaragua, the Dominican Republic, and Honduras are producing cigars that rival and sometimes beat Cuban cigars in quality and flavor, according to many. Brands like AJ Fernandez, Padron, My Father, and Arturo Fuente are rolling blends that'll make you forget you were chasing that Cuban dream in the first place. So instead of chasing counterfeits, invest in brands that respect the craft and are proud to put their real name on the box. So if you're still hell-bent, I guess, in having a cohiba and being able to say, I smoked a authentic Cuban cohiba, here is a quick cheat sheet to remember. Buy only from authorized retailers. Verify the Habanos barcode online. And examine the band and box details. And remember, a real cigar experience isn't about showing off. It's about slowing down, savoring, and respecting the craft. Like, I gotta say that again. A real cigar experience isn't about showing off. It's all about slowing down, savoring, and respecting the craft. If you want to feel like a boss, light up something authentic, not something that just looks expensive. So that is it for today's smoke session, my friends. How to spot a fake Cuban cigar. Hopefully you're walking away a little wiser, a little sharper, and a lot less likely to get played next time someone says, "Psst, hey bro, I got some Cubans in my suitcase." If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, like, share, leave a 5-star review, share with your friends, your brothers and sisters, share them on your social media and these cigar groups. Follow us on Instagram at the Cigar Cypher. And remember, the real flex isn't about what you smoke. It is in knowing what you smoke. So until next time, my friends, brothers and sisters of the leaf, keep your ash long, your humidor stocked, and your hustle honest. This is the Cigar Cypher Podcast, a Buenos Diaz Media production.